Welcome to the Midgard Press. My name's Jay. So today we're going to cover the Wight. These powerful undead creatures can be quite the hassle for an adventuring party, and that's to say the least. It is definitely featured within the basic module, the quick start module that comes with Dragonbane Rittermound. It's in place of a dragon knight who, rested there, so long ago, protecting some vital treasure, of course. And that's what wights do. They are typically found within burial mounds. They can be found where they've been entombed because they are, they're dead, obviously. But there's something holding them there. They have they're connected to a specific point, a specific place. It's like they hold a grudge, like they have to be destroyed. They have to be not destroyed, but they have to be not even saved. But there's a way that goes about where you can rest their soul. Typically by destroying them. But let's go ahead and continue the attacks because, again, we've only read the first three. So let's go ahead and do 4, 5, and 6. So 4 of the D6, sweeping attack. With surprising speed, the Wight sweeps its weapon in a deadly attack. All player characters within 2 meters suffer weapon damage. The attack can be parried. Now, that's a good thing to remember, that the attack can be parried. Because, again, monsters cannot parry, or you cannot parry a monster's attack unless it specifically says. You can always dodge, but you cannot always parry unless it specifically says. 5 of the D6, crippling cold. The Wight grabs an unfortunate player character who feels the chill of death spread through their body. The victim takes a D6 damage, armor has no effect, and must make an evade roll, not an action, on their next turn in order to act at all. If the roll fails, a new attempt must be made on the next turn. The victim also becomes cold and cannot heal hit points or willpower until they get warm. Now, fun fact, if you yourself as a person ever get cold, go stand in a corner. It's always 90 degrees. 6 of the D6, power attack. With creaking joints, the Wight swings its weapon in a powerful attack against a character, just one. The damage is rolled with twice the weapon's normal number of dice. And the victim is knocked to the ground. The attack can be parried. So if you're rolling a D8, it becomes 2D8. If you're rolling a D10, it becomes 2D10. If you're rolling 2D6, it becomes 4D6. So on and so forth. Again, it gets doubled. That will hurt. Ooh. But it's like it's like a power-up move, The power attack, it's basically the crit for the Wight because it's doubling its damage dice. So when we talked about the Wight in the Bestiary video, part 2, and we were talking about armor, I read that incorrectly, same as armor. I took that as a misprint, as they had messed up on that, and I was incorrect, so I apologize. One of you all out there commented that it's same as armor, meaning it's whatever armor they're wearing, which makes sense. A Wight's not always wearing the same armor. They could be wearing leather armor. They could be wearing chainmail armor, so on and so forth. So depending on what type of armor they're wearing, that is the armor rating they have. And just kind of giving y'all an idea, you know, with the resistance where they take half of, they take half damage from non-magical weapons except fire, which just does normal. If you give them like chainmail's 4, okay? And sometimes these guys, they're undead princes, princesses, or great warriors. So maybe they were a knight. If they were a knight, maybe they have a helmet as well. Open helm is just 1. So chainmail plus open helm, that's 5 armor rating. Not to mention that they take half the damage from non-magical weapons, and that's pretty much going to be all your players. None of them will really have magical weapons unless, they've been through several adventures already, unless you're just giving them out willy-nilly. They will not just have magical weapons. So the Wight is a very powerful monster. It is very deadly. Now, just using Rittermound as an example, because it's within the adventures, it's within the books, like it's easy to use it as a reference. I have had, let's see, how many times have I run Rittermound? I've run it 5 times. I don't know why that popped up. I've run it 5 times, Rittermound. And in that time, the players have fought the Wight every single time. Well, one of them they didn't, because that was a TPK. And the second time, there was a second time where they actually fought the Wight twice. Now, the reason they fought the Wight twice was because they took a shift rest within Rittermound. Now, in the actual adventure for Rittermound, it says that the knight, the dragon knight, the Wight itself, comes back to life after a shift. So it did, and it attacked them again. And it took them dang near to death again, because that's what it does. It's very powerful. But the first time I ever played Rittermound, we had a mage within the party, and the mage actually used magic, which dealt normal damage, using gust of wind for the most part. So they were pushing the Wight back. I think it's 2d6 force, and it does the same amount of bludgeoning as it moves them back. So it was a very good fight. In fact, all the fights against the Wight have been really good, because again, they always have armor and they take half damage from non-magical weapons. So it can get very entertaining. But I would totally include more Wights within the game itself. It allows the players, when they encounter something that's really hard, something that could be very deathly, make sure you describe that. Like, when the Wight enters the room, like the presence that it offsets, make sure to be like, oh, there's a cold, chilling force that has besieged the room. There's almost a smell of death in the air. Make sure you're hitting the player character's senses. If you're explaining to them how potentially hard this setting is, or how deathly this monster will be towards them, of course, it doesn't care about the other monsters within the game. It's only towards the player characters or NPCs that they bring along with them. But make sure to just let them know, like, they may die, and that's one thing that I like to do with my sessions. I always make sure that my characters have backup characters, because you just never know. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. But I would definitely, with the Wight, incorporate this more into other sessions. Like, yes, they are good with burial mounds, tombs, crypts, but who says they can't be a guardian to something much larger? Because, I mean, they're undead spirits of princes, princesses, and great warriors. Why can't they be set as the protector of something, the guardian of something? So as you're designing these crypts, as you're designing these tombs, dungeons, and you have like a powerful artifact that you want to give the players, make it worth their while. Put a Wight in front of them. I mean, I think it makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense. So I want you to do that. Like this video, comment down below. How would you use a Wight? Where would you put them in a scenario so that way they can just cause all kind of havoc and fun for your player characters? And as always, share this video. Share this video. Let other people know about the greatness of Dragonbane, the greatness of the Wight, the monster. So as always, live on and game on, my friends.